Okay, let's move on to the next definition, which is embossed. Embossed, to me, means two different things. And an embossed door is a door that has some sort of a detail to it when you look at it in elevation. For me, that detail that I've ever seen has either been a paneled door, whether it be the most common 6-panel. Seco has made single panel and 2-panel doors in the past. They've made these panel doors with some sort of a detail to the paneling, whether it be the type of OG or sort of shaper bit set that they'll make look to the sides of the embossed panel, or they'll have a vertical line detail to it. So it's a hollow metal door that's 6-panel, 1-panel, 2-panel, light over 2-panel, whatever it might be. That's one. Two, the other type that I've seen is embossed can also mean, at least it does to me, a wood grain type texture to the surface of a steel door. I've actually witnessed the latter being made, and it's really fascinating. So what happens with these embossed doors, whether it be a panel door or a wood grain type effect, the steel is on a coil, and that coil, you've probably seen it driving down the highway. It's a big spool of steel, and it sits there on the truck. It comes, there's an overhead crane that picks it up, chains go through the spool that the coil kind of sits over, chain through that, picks it up. They put it into a machine that then feeds the steel off the coil into a leveler where it's flattening it. And if it's going to be a panel design, what they end up doing is cutting the steel to the right length, putting it into a press, which is kind of, you'll see presses in the wood door industry, whether it be cold press or a hot press. Two epically sized platens come together under hundreds of tons of force, and literally there's a die set, and they're a positive and a negative die set, or an A and B die set, and they literally form or emboss the steel such that it leaves that design to it. I've seen that done as well. When they're going to emboss for a texture, same coil of steel comes off, puts into a machine, it rolls off, it gets leveled probably through 2 pinch rollers, and then the coil, it's not cut, the coil moves through a very large machine with 2 very big rolls, which are the positive and negative, or A and B die sets, and through these pinch rollers is left that texture. So that's what embossed means to me. It's kind of a funny way of saying I need a 6-panel hollow metal door, but the process is embossing, is what it is. Embossing can be going through pinch rollers, or it can just literally be 2 epic-sized platens coming down and pushing the metal to form it in that sort of shape. Let's switch to the screen view and see what we can come up with. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here's our definition. Embossed, having a raised and or indented pattern impressed on a surface by means of patterned rolls or stamping dies. Yeah, absolutely. I'm quite positive you could do a wood grain type over a panel design. I'm quite sure of it, actually. So they would do the wood grain type effect, and then send it to the next tool, which will give you the panel design. We can take a look at Seco, their catalog, which we'll find. Will certainly show embossed doors. Yeah, so in the Regent Omega, you can do an embossed 6-panel door. That's just going to be a 6-panel door. You can do in the Imperial Versador, 6-panel and 8-panel, a crossbuck, and 2-panel designs. Yeah, right there. Wood grain steel door. So this is both. There's literally going to be the steel going through those pinch rollers to leave the effect of this wood grain feature. Admittedly, I'm not sure how they're getting horizontal grain here and here. See page 51 for designs. I don't know how they're doing that. That may be an effect of the stain that's put over it. Yeah, here's your crossbuck. They had mentioned that word, 51. Okay, embossed doors. So this will be the two platens that are punching that in the steel in these different designs. So every one of these is going to have a very expensive different tool set. Your crossbuck, the lights are just going to be metal vision frames. 8 panel, 6 panel, 2 light over 4 panel, 9 light over 2 panel, etc. Okay. Even you see a 6 panel door with one of these panels cut out as a light. Not uncommon. That's what the design is going to look like there. I believe Seiko has reduced the amount of offering on embossed doors. I think they've somewhat recently discontinued their 2 panel designs. Regent Fuego, Legion embossed panel and 2 panel. Okay, they still have 2 panel in here. So embossed designs. The E601 is a 6 panel. So you can do a 6 panel on these, on this design of door with lights over them. Let's try this. Oh, so perfect. Embossing. A steel door embossing line is a manufacturing process used to create decorative patterns, designs, or textures on steel doors. The process typically involves the use of specialized machinery and tools to imprint or emboss a specific pattern onto the surface of the steel door panels. This can enhance the aesthetic appeal of the doors and make them more visually interesting. Okay, awesome. This is a very short video. It's about a minute. Let's just watch it. Watch it happen. There is no sound with this. Well, actually, there may be. It's just music, so we're not missing anything. Through the pinch roller, that's going to level it. There you go. And that's those 2 platens that will come together. Yeah, you can see the die set down there, and voila. Then they'll probably cut that to length. And that'll just keep going on all day long. And there's the shear. Yeah, you saw that knife come down. That's a shear. And there's a steel panel. That'll go to a press brake, I'm sure, to get bent over. That's a great example of what that looks like. It just really is. Let's see if we can find anything else. So apparently this company just makes the machinery for this. This is a much longer video. Yeah, so you're not going to see this in North American doors, but you can see what they do. This is probably somewhere in Asia. Oh, they're CNC milling something. I'm not... Oh, interesting. They're milling... They are probably milling... They were probably milling. They're making a mold that they'll make tooling out of, most likely. That's just CNC milling is all that is. Probably into solid aluminum, would be my guess. Not a big deal. That's going to be cold air. That's being blasted on that. Or it could be... It's probably just cold air is probably what it is. It's called a vortex tube, actually. It takes the ambient air temperature. This isn't the vortex tube, but it's probably up here. Turns it into a very cold air, because aluminum is a challenge to CNC mill. I have actual experience doing that. Lots of designs. Obviously, again, you're not going to see this, but we're talking about embossing. So here's embossing. How hollow metal doors are made. Okay, embossed. Baron metal doors. Baron is a Canadian company owned by Assa Abloy, and they do embossed doors, apparently. I've done lots of Baron doors through my Assa Abloy account. Really important to note that you're probably never going to see 16 gauge in an embossed or a panel door. You're probably never going to see like a 3/8. I know I've seen 3/6. It just gets weird because the style width is so wide. They don't change the die or the mold for that. But yeah, so they're telling you here, we'll do these widths and these heights, and that's what you're getting. So if you've got a mechanical door on the on each floor of the condo building, everything's 6-panel, and you want to do a 3/8/7/0 there, or a 3/8/6/8 more likely, I don't think today you're really going to get that. True Door, 2-panel embossed hollow metal door. Not sure if True Door is a manufacturer or a distributor. And then the other problem is if you're doing 8/0, yeah, everything's going to get a lot taller. This top rail and the bottom rail will get a lot bigger. And then those details, that's all in the die set. All of these details that they have there, that's all metal that's been bent. All nice little detail there. Okay, that's embossing. Let's try one more. Wood grain hollow metal door. Let's just try images. Grain Tech. Yeah, Steelcraft has their Grain Tech. Yeah, you can see they don't have any effect on horizontal, that all that grain. That's not how you would see an actual wood door. On an actual wood door, this mid rail would definitely be horizontal grain. The top rail would be horizontal grain. You can see it just runs all vertical, and that's because of that process that I explained initially about what that looks like. You can do that. The strength of hollow metal, the look of wood. As far as I know, you can put stain right over it. Okay, the next definition, end channel. See top channel and bottom channel. Yeah, lots to talk about that. Let's talk about that next. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.